Right then, so welcome to the long-awaited van tour of our VW Crafter. Welcome to our home. So we have tidied just for you, so you can have a pleasant experience as our guest into our home. But mind you, this is not a showroom, so...
We're good.
Did you hide it?
Yes.
Good. Alright. So...
Hidden.
Now, our layout is somewhat unique in the sense that it has a lot of space. That was one of the key things that we were thinking about when we were designing the van, that we really wanted to make it feel like sort of a studio apartment that you can actually walk around and, you know, do this and kind of swirl around and not hit anything, also pass each other. You know, there's plenty of space here for Sam to pass me, for him to be cooking, for me to maybe working on the desk. So the open space and the multifunctionality of this space was key in how the design panned out. For example, I can take 7 steps. So I can take a significant amount of steps from one edge of the van to the other edge of the van, diagonally, you know, all the way from the kitchen back to our living room. This is our living room. As you can see, it's a lovely L couch. It is also a pull-out bed, but it's also our guest bed. Our main bed is somewhere else. Now, this is our lovely table, our lagoon table, which, mind you, defies logic. I can never get it straight. This L couch is amazing. It's where we spend the majority of our time. We love having a space where that is not just our fixed bed, where we always have to be lying down or sitting weirdly or spine bending stupidly. Instead, we have a lovely couch that acts as our dining room and as our lounge, and it's pretty good. We really enjoy it. I'm happy to report that we got the depth right, which was a very big question when we were building. How deep should a couch be? But it's about, I don't know, 70 centimeters deep, so awesome. Fruit bowl, laptops, coloring stuff, curtain that hides the front. As you can expect, you will not be seeing the front because all the junk that we moved from the back is gone there, so we can tidy up. You know, Monica's cupboard. So that's the front. It's just a normal cab and our closet.
So under the couch is basically our main utility storage. This is where we store all the batteries, the heating and other bits and bobs, because we don't actually have a garage space that we can fit all of that in. So we kind of had to work around that, and this was the solution that we came up with. So under the couch here, it pulls out, but it also pulls up so that we can access everything if we need to fix something, add something, change something, anything like that. So on this side of the couch, we've got our entire electrical system. We have a huge battery bank, which allows us to pretty much go completely off-grid, electric cook, charge our laptops, all of that, without the sun and without moving for about 10 days before we need to plug in and recharge or ideally get some sun. And all of that is achieved with 920 amp hours of lithium batteries along with 540 watts of solar, which is on the roof. And all of that fits on one half of the couch, just about. And then on the other half of the couch is where we have our heating system. So our diesel heater for the van is actually quite different from most people's diesel heaters, whereas it doesn't just heat air, but it heats glycol. We've done a whole series about how we installed it and all of that, so I'll link that down in the description below. But essentially, that type of diesel hydronic heater allows us to have hot air coming out of there. We get instant hot water, which is plumbed into our sink and our shower. And as an added bonus, we have underfloor heating in our van. So we have an underfloor heating pipe that runs from our heater and zigzags its way throughout the entire visible floor space of the van, which was a luxury, was an experiment, and it worked. So with this being our full-time home, we definitely wanted a toilet and a shower in our van when we were initially building it. Because firstly, for full-time living for us, we'd done full-time living in a small camper van all the way back in New Zealand without a toilet and without a shower. And for this one, since it was going to be a lot bigger and our full-time home, we definitely thought we need a toilet in the van, because your bowels do weird things when you don't have a toilet immediately available for you. So we definitely wanted a toilet, and we also wanted the ability to shower or have some sort of wet room where we can just basically wash off, plumb up a shower, and it can all be hidden away so it's not permanently getting it in and out all the time. So that's how we came up with our contraption here, which is our toilet and shower combo.
And that's where the jackets are.
So this wet room here is completely waterproof. So all the walls, the floor, the entire chamber is waterproof completely, which means that we can dry clothes in here. If we go swimming, we can dry our towels in here, as you can see. And for the shower, all we have to do is take out the portable toilet and the other small bits and bobs, and then put up the shower curtain, and the shower is ready to go right there. And as I said, from our diesel heater, if we want hot water, we just turn on the diesel heater, and within 2 or 3 minutes we have instant hot water that goes through a heat plate exchanger and comes out the shower. So as long as we have water in the van, we have hot water ready for a shower.
Also on this door, this is the everything door. Just all sort of things you'll find in the bathroom. It's on the wall, and I love, you know, using the vertical space of this tiny home. It really obviously helps with the objective to keep the floor clean. And these are IKEA pegboards, by the way. They're magic. Totally recommend. You might be wondering what is going on with this. Why is this door so weird? It's not a nice waterproof door. It's a huge tug. Well, let me just open it back up again then. Okay, then we do this. This door splits the van into two. A huge thing, a huge aspect of full-time living is privacy. Both privacy from your partner and privacy from your cats or dogs or pets or whatever you have. We have 2 cats, and especially when we first got them, when they were kittens, they would not stop eating our hair when we were asleep and waking us up at 4 or 5 a.m. to get food. And when it came to training them, it was really hard to send them in the other room, because there was no other room outside of obviously splitting us and the cats away. Having privacy from, you know, one's partner is actually really key to making van life work, because when you live in a bigger space, you generally have some, you know, a few minutes where you're not looking at each other. And here, obviously, it's a bit hard to not always hear each other, not always see each other, not always be kind of present with each other, which is wonderful sometimes, but sometimes you just need an hour or two where you're or if somebody's editing a video up until 2 a.m. and the other one wants to sleep, we can shut one here and shut the other one there, and basically it's perfectly normal.
So no matter where you look in camper vans, there's a lot going on. And as you move towards the back of our van, although everything is quite concise and pushed to the edges, there's a lot of multifunctionality in all the remaining bits and pieces. So I think we should start with the kitchen, because that's probably the simplest. So our kitchen counter unit, everything is here. And as you may notice, it's actually rather shallow. It's actually only 35, 40 centimeters deep compared with the usual 50 or 60 centimeters deep, which would bring it out to about here or something like that, which would cut the floor space. So we pushed the units back and decided everything that usually lives on a kitchen counter will be stored in cupboards underneath rather than on the actual counter itself, which allows us to get away with a smaller counter. And for 2 people who do love to cook, we pretty much cook nearly every single meal in the van. It hasn't really impacted us cooking at all, having a narrower kitchen counter. And if we did actually want more kitchen space, say we're preparing a big meal, we do actually have quite a lot of folded down desk space over on the desk side, which we can use as additional counter space for the kitchen if we so wished. Like so. So it's still possible to actually get past, but if you've got, you know, you've got a couple of pots and pans up here or a prepping board, then you've got something cooking over here, you can have your washing up sitting there ready to be washed up, and you can be prepping something over here as well, and it's all within reach of one person coming in and out if you wanted to cook a big meal. But quite often enough we find the kitchen counter itself to be plenty enough space. So this here is our sink. We've got a flexible tap that we can move in and out and around, and we've got cold water and hot water on a diaphragm pump, and all the plumbing for the entire sink and shower system is stored underneath in this cupboard. So we've got our pump there, accumulator behind, and all the pipe work. If you did want a full video, there is one in the corner where we actually show how we plumb everything up, but all the things including the cold water tank is all stored under here because we didn't want to put the water tank outside for freezing purposes. Yeah, so that's all stored under there, and our bin is just on the cabinet, which just about fits under the sink. So a quick tour of our cupboards here. We've got a cutlery drawer in there, then we've got our 2 induction hobs, which are completely portable and movable. We can cook outside, we can cook inside. That's in there. That's the man drawer, and then we've got plates, chopping boards and bits and pieces in there. Then we've got 2 cupboards below, which we kind of use for bigger storage things. So we've got our gas powered jet boil, which is essentially a kettle that boils water in about 90 seconds. Totally recommend. And then we've also got our gas powered barbecue type thing that we can use outside, which is great for some summer evenings as well. And then other, I don't even know what we've got in here. Bits and pieces.
A spare electric heater.
Spare electric heater, some camera gear, bits and pieces, and a lot of wires.
And let's close that up.
And that's where we close this up.
It's an extension of our garage, I think.
Now, in the other parts of the kitchen cabinet, we've actually been using this fabric as a door rather than actual wood, mostly for weight saving purposes, but also it kind of brightens it up, brings a bit of a different color rather than just black and wood. And basically these can either pull back as a curtain, or you can actually unhook them and grab some stuff out. And in here we just keep other bits and pieces. We've got cups, bowls, a blender in there. We've got a waffle maker, which is entirely needed. And then we've got cleaning supplies, tissue paper, bits and pieces, and that all stays in there. And the curtain keeps it pretty tidy and pretty secure. Then we've got all of our pans and everything, which are the Tefal ones with the handles, so we don't clog up too much space. They all stack in one another under there. And then what would you class this? My nightstand?
Your nightstand.
My nightstand. So
it contains a toaster, creams, your bonbons, charging stuff, and God knows what else.
But that's why it's hidden behind a curtain, so we don't have to constantly look at it.
So here we have the rest of our kitchen. We have our fridge, our pull-out pantry, and our oven, and extra storage, which is honestly not the kitchen anymore.
It's actually mostly the cat's stuff under there.
Yes. Okay, now this is the glorious fridge that some of you may have heard a lot about. Yeah. It is a Dimitar CRX80. It has a freezer and that's removable, and this is it in its really cramped full state. If I were to upgrade it, I think I'll have more freezer space, less fridge space, just because it would extend how long you can be off grid. Like you can save like greens, veggies, whatever, much better if you had a freezer, and have space for your ice cream at the same time. That's the fridge. Now moving on to our lovely DIY pantry. So right here is one bulk of our food storage. So these are a lot of the dry stuff. So we have lentils, beans, salt, sugar, flour, pasta. Then there's like tomato cans and other cans down there. So this pantry was custom designed to fit these boxes specifically. It's fairly heavy, but this latch keeps it closed. I would totally recommend having a pull-up pantry anywhere in your kitchen. It really helps use the height of a space. If you can even do like a taller one, that can be pretty much all of your kitchen storage in one tiny slither. So I would totally recommend it. I love having this. You can just cram it full. And then to one of our favorite upgrades is this. It is our Ninja, 10-in-1 oven, and this is a very recent upgrade for us. But literally what this oven has done is allowed us to say, I'm hungry, what do you want? Pull it out of the fridge, open the oven, put it in, close it, press the button. And I know that describing this is like, of course, that's normal.
That's how ovens work.
Yes, that wasn't the case for the first 10 months of van life for us. And so this has been a huge occasion. It's one of those things like, it finally works. And this oven is a normal AC electric oven that will go in a house. So people use it as an extra oven, like they put it on the counter and they just, you know, put food in and out. It has a normal plug. Now, there's a lot more on the floor to talk about, but let us finish with the kitchen. The kitchen is very extensive here. So this is the rest of our food storage. It has other dry stuff, you know, tea, potatoes, snacks, like ready rice meals, you know, the ones that sort of, you know, just pouches, oil and other concoctions that go with food, and this is like extra spices that don't fit on our spice rack. And on this side, this is kind of miscellaneous storage. It's again hidden by a fabric thing. Hello, kitty. Are you joining the tour? Come here. Meow. So this is Nox. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you not want to pick you up? Are you hungry? Or thirsty? What do you think? Do you want to say hi to people?
No.
So, Nox is going to tell you that this is a art box, and then that is extra breakfast bar storage, because currently we're in Europe, so I had to stock up on my favorite breakfast bars from the UK. I'm a bit particular about the sugary snacks I eat. And then that's the climate control box. So it's again sort of garage extension. You know, you have hot water bottles, incense, diffuser, other bits and pieces here. Oh, is it hot? Is it hot? Yeah. Oh, who needs toothpaste? Oh, you. Hello. Oh, you cutie. Yes, you are. Okay. Carry on.
So the last thing that we've got on this wall, which is compressed again right into the wall, is all of our desks. So as we said, it can be used as an extension for the kitchen, so we can use it as extra kitchen counter space, but also its main purpose is actually a desk. Whoop, that nearly fell on my head. So we've got that just coming out there, and if we sit on this back bench unit, then this is a perfect place to just have a laptop, or as Polly said, she actually is very into art, so she does a lot of art here. It's a nice big table to have pencils and paper and everything out, and it's a really nice big beautiful desk. We've got a pin board up here as well, and extra storage of course down in the actual desk unit. But the desk basically just folds up and away and just clips into place with some magnets and latches, so that whilst we're driving it doesn't fall down. And then over here we've also got the obligatory whiteboard where we write everything down, and then a smaller little desk held in by chains, and all the pens, bits and pieces and extra stationery stuff is stored in there. So the most popular question we get asked by far is, where is the bed? And the simple answer is, our bed is here. So how we set up the bed in the evening is that we clear the floor space, which is mostly clear anyway. The cat's litter tray goes to the front towards the lounge area, and then we pull out our mattress from under the couch, which is basically just a thin mattress topper that perfectly fits within this space. And then we kind of just mosh pile on blankets from the back, pillows from under the couch, and we basically make this into a nice little nestled area. Put the duvet down, and that's pretty much our bed. And because we've got underfloor heating, that keeps the mattress underneath really nice and toasty warm, especially in the winter. And then when we're ready in the morning, we just pop everything away. Takes us 5 minutes, and we personally don't mind putting the bed out every single day. That doesn't bother us, and it basically allows us to have this beautiful floor space throughout the majority of the day where we're not sleeping. The other benefit of having this much floor space is that we can actually do simple exercises in the van, things like yoga or stretches and things like that. There's enough space for both of us to fully stretch out and do those sort of things.
As we said, we also have the guest bed underneath the couch, which we have used as well in the times when maybe the underfloor wasn't working, or one of us or both of us was ill, because when somebody's ill, they tend to want to stay in bed, and obviously removing the bed down there is kind of necessary to actually make the house run. So whilst one is, you know, serving medicine on the kitchen counter, the other one is sleeping on the couch. So I'm very glad that we have both options. We do treat the floor as the master bedroom because that's just where we're the most comfortable, and we can like stretch out the most, because that's obviously widthways. On the floor we're sleeping lengthways, but having both options has been wonderful, and we wouldn't change it. I absolutely love sleeping on a firmer mattress. I know that's weird for some people, but my skeleton loves me for it, so I cannot complain about it at all.
So apart from the obligatory things on the ceiling, like our LED lights and such like that, we have these two very solid aluminium bars that are tied into our Unistrut roof rack. And because they're so strong, we can actually mount something that can take our weight onto them, which is where the idea of a hammock chair. And if this is not what van life is all about, then I don't know what is. So we've got one of these bars here at the front so that we can have the sliding door open and sit out. And we also have another bar with one of these chains at the back. So if for some reason we want to pop the hammock chair over there at the back, then we can. And yes, you can fit a hammock between the two bars. It's quite a shallow hammock, but you can. We do have a whole load of build series videos on pretty much everything that went into this on our channel. So if you were interested on something specific in our van, then we have videos on that. And if you have any questions, we would be more than happy to answer them. Just leave them down in the comment section below. Also, if you're a newbie van builder and you're looking for extra resources like layout planners, measurements for vans, different blueprint ideas that you've seen and you may like, we have a lot of extra resources on our website that are there to help you. So if you're looking for that, all the links are down in the description below. So thank you so much for joining us, and hope we see you next week. Bye.